Mary Jervich with MaryJervich.com, where we believe work is worship. Today's heart-centered leadership key is having a growth plan. In our careers and in our lives, when we don't have focus, who knows where we'll end up? They have done studies and they found when humans are placed in either a thick forest or a desert, a place without a lot of true landmarks, that most often people walk around in very tight circles. Sometimes and most often as tight as 66 feet. Where we think we're walking straight, we actually just go in a circle. And we can do the same things in life. Each day we can wake up, go through the motions, and go back to sleep. And then we can get up and do it all over again and over again and over again. And when we're not intentional about our growth, we won't always accomplish everything that we would want to. The other thing that happens when we don't have a growth plan is we tend to have a lack of focus. In today's society, there are so many things being thrown at us all the time. So many things. It's like squirrel syndrome or shiny object syndrome on hyperload. All of the time, things are constantly being bombarded on us. Whether it's another speaking course or a leadership course, there's always so many things that we could be doing, so many skills that we could be improving. And that's why it's important that we have a personal growth and development plan. So not only will we have a focus in the direction that we're going so we can really accomplish more, but so we know that we're actually accomplishing something. As the saying goes, leaders are learners. And so you want to continue your learning. And if you don't have a plan, or maybe you haven't done a lot of personal development or growth, then this would be a great time to get your first plan put in place. Let's talk a little bit about how you can get a growth plan put in place in just a few minutes today. The first thing you want to do is you want to decide on a few areas that you really want to develop in. I always like to say it's best to try not to develop in more than 2 areas at one time. And typically, you want to give yourself 3 months for each growth pattern at a minimum. Now, if it's something bigger, certainly you can spend 6 months deep diving in. But the key is to limit yourself so you're not trying to have to learn too many new skills at one time. When we set our heights too high, then oftentimes we fail to meet our own requirements for ourselves, and this leaves us feeling defeated. And I don't want you feeling defeated as you start to make your growth plan. So pick at least 1 item, if not 2 items, for your first quarter. Now, you can always lay this out for an entire year and have the next year kind of planned out. And the first thing to do is just think about, what are these areas that I want to grow in? And if you're unsure which areas you want to grow in, then I suggest you look at the skills that you need now for your current position at work and think, are there any skills that I need to improve in, or any skills that I can improve in that would help get me to the next level in my career? The second thing to do is to look at that next level in your career, that next step that you'd want to be taking, and think about which skills am I going to need to be successful within that role. So often we think that we will get good at those skills or develop those skills once we get to that next position. But what's better is if we have those skills first. And this can be a way that you can start to set yourself up and ready yourself for promotion for the next roles. So think about, what skills do I need to have in that next area? These aren't all going to be hard skills. Sometimes there's soft skills that we need as well. So just take time to think about, what are the skills I want to develop in, and lay those out. The next thing you want to do is you need to have a plan. You can't just haphazardly decide that you're going to grow in an area without having a system. So you want to figure out, is there a course that you could follow, whether it be a complimentary course, or maybe there's an accountability group that you could get into. One of the things that we offer is actually a leadership mastermind program. So each week people can come and they can do a leadership lesson. So this helps people develop in leadership over time, because what happens is growth doesn't happen in an instance. The way we learn is by having spaced repetition. And so we need to have our learning happen over a period of time. So find a course or a book. Books are very affordable ways to be able to start to develop and learn new skills, and figure out what you're going to be doing, what tools you're going to use to help you develop in these areas. Then the third thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have some accountability or some milestones set up. So you have those deadlines set up of what you want to have accomplished by a certain time frame. It's always important when we can set ourselves deadlines. That's going to help us make sure that we actually complete the task that we set out to complete in the first place. So deadlines or an accountability partner, or even both, those would be really helpful to ensure that you attack your growth plan. The last thing that you want to remember is growth is a journey. Anytime you start something new, you are likely not to be great at it. You might not even be good at it. And that's why you want to just work on getting good first. It's okay if the first time you do something, you mess it up terribly. But it's important that you actually experience the things that you're learning and you put them into action. Books can be powerful tools that can help you transform your life. But if you don't put into action the things that you learn, the transformation won't happen. The information alone, our intellect, is not enough to create true transformation in our lives. We have to go deeper and we have to be able to experience it. So I encourage you to not only have a learning plan for your growth, but then put it into action. Maybe you can help with different projects at work, or possibly you can even find somebody to role play with. But make sure whatever you're learning, you take time to have an experience. This will not only deepen that learning, but it will accelerate the rate at which you learn. Well, I am so excited for you. I know that you're going to put together an incredible growth plan. If you have any questions, please put those below. If you want to share your growth plan or the things that you're working on, we'd love to hear those too. And if you like this video, I would love for you to go ahead and subscribe to our channel. That way you can get alerted every time that we post new video tips for you to help you advance in your career as well as improve in your leadership skills. Until next time, remember, God's not done with you.